Learning to write a landing page headline, website headline, whatever kind of headline is super important as a copywriter, as a business owner, as a creator, because you're learning essentially how to capture someone's attention, get them to keep reading, get them to click on it, and ideally the ultimate goal is to get them to take action. So there are 7 ways I like to look at headlines, because I used to think over and over again, like what is a good headline? Is it catchy? Is it clever? It's really none of those things. There's a lot of different ways to look at it. But the first way is calling out your audience. So, for instance, if you had a startup or people generally didn't know what your product did, it's a good idea to call out your audience, because they may land on your landing page, your website, and they may have no idea what you offer, because you're not Nike, you're not Apple, you're not an established business. So having a startup like, let's say, Post Hog, they say how engineers build better products. So they're essentially saying we're not telling people that we build better products. We're telling how engineers build better products. So they're saying engineers visit our website because we can help you analyze, test, observe, and deploy new features. We can help you with all these things. We have all the tools. And they want to make it clear. So if they're doing Facebook ads, if they have organic traffic from content like LinkedIn or wherever, and the people visiting, they want to make sure the people who are converting are engineers, or like around engineer, product engineers, maybe, or one of those. So there's no confusion when someone lands on that page or their page and saying, we help engineers. So 1, call out your audience. 2, you want to get super specific. So for instance, as like save up to 40 to 90% off flights from your city. We could like change this and say, okay, okay. So it's like, you can say save money off flights from your city. It's kind of awkward, but it's not as effective because you're not telling people like how much they're going to save. Now with like a specific headline like this, you're telling like, hey, you're going to save up to 40-90% off headlights from your city. Now it's way more specific. So when someone reads that, they're like, I would love to save 40%, even 90%. You're giving people that really specific, useful information. So there's not vague and like, okay, I can save, but a lot of your competitors and a lot of other people claim they can save. How much can you, like, they're going to think like, anticipate the questions they're going to ask. Like, how much can you save me? What's, what percentage? Is it dollars? Like, it may be more effective. They said, save up to $250 off your flights. But they just kind of give percentage, which is good. Another way to create headlines is like open loop. So an open loop is when a headline makes you curious and you have to keep reading to close the loop in your brain. Like for instance, they said, like, this is the famous one. Like, they laughed when I sat down at the piano, but when I started to play, so like now you're like, I have to close that loop. Like, I have to answer that question about what that open loop is doing to me. So you might argue like, oh, that's kind of clickbaity. Like, it's just give me to read something. It's only clickbaity if he like doesn't fulfill that promise of answering that question with value. If it had a kind of headline like this, then you answered it and explained it well, then it's not clickbaity. You're delivering a really good headline that promises to answer that question in the body copy. Another way, number 4, is you're delivering value. So the all-in-one CRM, one tool for all your relationships, is sales, recruiting, fundraising, partnerships, investing. You are promising and teasing value in your headline. You're saying you're an all-in-one CRM. You're the one tool for all your relationships. So when people read this, they're going to say, oh, this is what they're promising. This is they're teasing value. And if I click it and sign up, I expect to get all these things when I sign up for this. So another idea is to make a promise to the reader. So you're teasing value. Now you're making a promise to the reader. And Shopify does this with their landing page. They say, bring your ideas to life for $1 a month. It's a very simple promise to the reader. So it's short, it's simple, it's concise, it's offering value, and it's really quite simple in terms of like telling them what simple promise are you making to the reader when they visit your page. You're saying you're going to bring their ideas to life. Great use of your. It's good to have your. So like you're making it about the reader. Don't say bring ideas to life for $1 a month. Bring your ideas. Make it about the reader. So you're making a super simple promise to the reader and when they visit your page. Another unique, well, it just went away, but another unique way of delivering value is talking like a human and like writing a headline that makes it conversational. So this is what proper tea tastes like, not the other one. You're not saying the best tea ever or tea for sale or whatever kind of gimmicky headline you go. But like we say, this is what proper tea tastes like. It sounds like a friend talking to a friend. You're really not like making it salesy. You're making it conversational, and it's not super formal. So that's another unique way. This is somewhat similar to Shopify, but just think about it. But like, how can you write a headline that overcomes the objection of your reader? So they might think of like Gumroad. You can sell courses and ebooks and all these things. And people are like, no, I don't want to sell anything because I can't make $1,000 selling courses. I can't even make $100 selling courses. Why would I want to create a course? Because nobody's going to buy it. And most people think when they think of creating a course, I think of this as like, nobody's going to buy my course. Who's going to buy a course? I'm never going to make $100. I'm never going to make $1,000, let alone 100,000 from it. So these are all objections people have when they visit your website, and they're like, you may have this promise and you may say these things, but I have my guard up and I don't really believe you. So you have to think, okay, what's the simplest promise and how can you address their objections? So Gumroad does a great job of it because they say go from $0 to $1. It's the simplest promise you're making to your reader. You're overcoming their objections. And that's somewhat similar to Shopify, but I think it's like Shopify delivers on the promise. Gumroad is like similar, but I also think Gumroad is also about like overcoming the objection of like how much does it cost to get started and what is the outcome the reader is looking for if they were visiting Gumroad. The outcome they're looking for is I want to make money from courses and ebooks and all that. So those are the 4 things to consider, or not 4, 7 things to consider as you're writing headlines and you're thinking about, okay, how can I make it specific? How can I make it useful? I can make it valuable to the reader. Just think of these different ways of calling out your audience, getting specific, making a simple promise, overcoming their objections, creating an open loop, and really make it like a conversation. That's my favorite way. Of course, it all depends on your brand voice and what tone you're trying to go for. But these are just some unique ways to write a landing page headline, a website headline, Facebook ad headline, and really just get people to keep reading and take action.